What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. So I got a video request from a subscriber of mine to talk about this. He wanted me to give my thoughts on exactly what will we expect from Steph Curry this year now that Klay Thompson's not in the picture. A championship, if it was possible at all, had to include Klay Thompson in the equation. Now that Klay Thompson will be out for another year, and what do we expect from Klay Thompson? Excuse me, Steph Curry. Now, last year, even though it was a very, very, very small sample size, what we saw was not very impressive with Steph Curry. I think it was only 5 games before he went out with a hand injury. Um, we saw multiple games where the Golden State Warriors were down, were getting their ass handed to them. If I'm not mistaken, one of those games they were down by almost as many as 50 points. Just unbelievable blowout losses during that small stretch. And after his injury, we saw it. Um, After his injury, we saw that continue for a while until it was called out by the media and certain individual media. Then you kind of saw maybe Golden State putting up more effort. Um, but this is my thing with Curry. He's a phenomenal scorer, a great player, won a scoring title, has won 3 championships. Um, but he's never won a Finals MVP. You can make the argument that he should have won it in 2015, but he's never won it. And to me, part of the reason why he's never won it, aside from the fact that he's played with Kevin Durant, is that as great as he is, it's easier to kind of contain Curry, so to speak. Curry can create his own shot, but he's much better suited shooting off screens or coming off of picks and shooting. He's not the most physical guy. Last year, I made the error of thinking that he was going to possibly lead the NBA in scoring. I thought that with Westbrook coming to the Rockets, that would cut into Harden's scoring. That did not really occur. What really occurred is that they just monopolized the ball. Westbrook averaging 27, Harden 34. As opposed to the year before that, it was Harden with 36. And I don't know if anybody else even averaged 20. Um, so really it was just Westbrook kind of monopolizing all the other shots other than Harden's. But this is what I kind of expect. Curry is not a physical guy. He's a little bit small. He's gotten bigger since he got in the NBA, but he's still a rather smallish guy, 6'3", maybe 180 something. Okay. Um, the bigger concern about Curry is whether or not he can complete a whole season, or at least most of a season. You know, um, I do think that defenses are going to focus on him. One of the ways to kind of knock Curry off stride is to be a physical with him. Well, as physical as you can be in the NBA today. You know what I'm saying? Um, I think that he's motivated to have an MVP type season. The question is, can Curry sustain this without having other offensive threats out there? Now, I'm trying to remember this roster. I do know Wiggins is on the team, but with Klay not playing, do they move Wiggins to the 2? Is Wiggins even comfortable at the 2? I haven't really focused on Andrew Wiggins in a while. I know he's a 3, but I don't even know if he can play the 2 like that. So who's going to be Curry's running mate in the 2 guard position? You know, I'm also curious as to whether or not the Warriors are going to trade Draymond Green. They're probably going to do something. The Warriors are probably going to trade Draymond Green. From what I've heard and from what I understand, Draymond Green and Steph Curry are no longer really on good terms or great terms. Um, it's kind of obvious that Draymond Green is on the downside of his career, and I'm thinking they're going to do something there. Maybe they're going to make some type of trade to get a backcourt mate with Curry because he's going to need somebody to offset the defense is just sort of geared at him all the time. Wiggins is not necessarily a shooter like that. So to me personally, I see the Warriors in a Western Conference that's much more competitive than it was during their heyday. I see them maybe if Curry were to stay healthy, if the Warriors were to make some type of trades to give him a backcourt mate that's comparable to his skill set, Curry's. Even though you're not really going to replace what Klay Thompson provides, but at the end of the day, you know, I can see them maybe going something like 48-34, 47-35 if he's healthy. But I have a lingering doubt in my mind that Curry can stay healthy. When's the last time he played 82 games in a season anyway? When was the last time he's been relatively healthy to the point where he's played? Let me look this up right quick. I want to say it's been like 2 or 3 years. Yeah, he hasn't played in anything near a full season since 2016-17 when he played 79 games. Since then, he's played in 51, 69, and then only 5 games last year. So yeah, you have to work, and then he's 31 years old, 32 years old. Yeah, Curry's 32 years old. So Curry, honestly, you could make the argument that he's on the downside of his career. 32 is not necessarily old, but he's a banged up 32. You know, he's getting up there. So you wonder if Curry can even stay healthy long enough. You know what I'm saying? I really don't want something like that to happen, but the Warriors are going to have to get some other pieces to keep defenses from focusing so much on Curry. And what I see is what I said last year. And I was kind of accurate with what I said last year, though. I thought Curry was going to be more aggressive, but it was only a 5 game sample. Last year, I said what's going to happen is Curry's going to his shooting percentages, those remarkable shooting percentages that we have seen over the past couple of years. Shooting 47 to 50% from the floor, 42 to 45% from three. It's probably going to go down a little bit. Probably going to go down if Curry stays healthy. And, I would think in a scenario like this, without the spacing that he's accustomed to having, with all the different offensive threats, I think he might shoot more in the 44, 45% range. And he might shoot more around 39 to 40% from three, as opposed to 42, 43%. He can have some games where he shoots terrible. But I also think there's going to be some games where he scores big. Uh, if it's a scenario where he's in a situation where he has to shoot the ball a lot. Like for instance in the finals a couple of years ago when Clay went down, Durant went down, and he did have that 47-point game. But then you also noticed when teams were going in the box and one on him, he was struggling. That's what I'm talking about. I think there's going to be some games where he goes off. There's going to be some games where you know Curry is not going to shoot well. Um, but that's pretty much what I think, man. Even if he stays healthy, I think that you want to give Curry the benefit of the doubt with all of the playoff experience, the championship experience he can get out of the first round. Um, but at the end of the day, teams are getting better, and it doesn't take that long for a team to go from a dominant NBA champion to sort of just another good team. Look at the Detroit Pistons in 1990. All right, they went 59-23, won their second consecutive championship, beat that loaded Portland Trailblazers teams 4 games to won the NBA Finals. But within 2 years, 2 years later, Detroit was, I think they went 50-32, and no, actually that was in 1991. I think 1991 they went 50-32 or 52-30. The next year they were actually kind of a mediocre team. They were a mediocre team, and I think they went to the playoffs, but I think they lost in the second round. So it doesn't take that long for a team to kind of, if you don't keep adjusting, making trades and adding pieces, um, adjusting to the environment around you, you can fall off. So that's what I think, man. Tell me what you guys